Tank the Tech, who is a major tour manager, had a huge challenge come up during Electric Callboy tour that he was just recently on. The drummer David fell ill and had to return home just as the band was just recently bumped up to a headlining slot where Sum 41 was supposed to be. I wanted to talk about this video just briefly, just share some of my experiences that I've had similar to some of these situations and give some insight into how it's really cool that maybe people are enjoying that live experience maybe more than before and finally not getting so used to that overly processed, everything perfect or being to the T. I just want to kind of dive into it because I think this was a good video that demonstrated how people don't really know if you're playing exactly what you did on that recording. And that's why it's cool to do some things organically like that. The Good Things Festival saw Electric Callboy suddenly bumped up to the headlining slot after Sum 41 had to withdraw due to lead singer Derek Wembley's health issues. As if the sudden elevation wasn't enough, disaster struck. Electric Callboy's drummer David fell ill on the morning of their Melbourne performance and was sent home. Faced with the daunting task of salvaging their set, the band and crew quickly convened to brainstorm solutions. Tank's first instinct was to look internally, but none of the crew, including himself, had the comfort level or familiarity with the band's intricate set list to step in. And mind you, the drum playing from Electric Callboy is very powerful, very active, very enhanced. Like, he puts on a fucking show. I think people underestimate how much it takes to be a drummer for a band and be entertaining at the same time. He is one of those drummers that can do that. But anyways, inspiration struck. Why not tap into the talent pool of the festival's other bands? Now, I forgot to mention this when I recorded the video. I don't know how Tank held it together for that. That must have been extremely stressful. And he does mention how crazy it was in his video. So make sure you check out his original video. I have it pinned down below. The reason why I say this is because I went on tour with Dicodec with our singer, Jonathan Paul. We were on tour and we had a drummer just not decide to do the tour with us very last minute. However, we had a solution, right? We got a solution right away and we hired someone. He was coming in out of Dallas. I had worked with him before. I went on tour with him with another band called iArtifact. I knew he was good, and I trusted him to be able to do the Dicodec songs, because the songs that we did with iArtifact were pretty difficult because they're very progressive metal, it's instrumental progressive prog rock that we did in iArtifact. So with Dicodec, it was a little less progressive, but also progressive, but he had that feel. He's really good. But anyways, I'm getting off topic here. So we hire him, right? Now, we drive 9 hours to San Antonio for our first gig. I believe it was San Antonio or Austin. And he's supposed to meet us there. So we get there and he tells us, nope, I can't do it. Can't do this show. And we're like, oh, but then he goes, however, I got a guy that can do it for you. He lives in Dallas. And we're like, fuck it. Let's go up to Dallas and practice with him. He said he could practice a day or two out of it. And in this situation, unlike Tank's, where it worked out really well because he's working with professional musicians, this is at a lower level. So from a lower level, it's even harder because we don't have a lot of talent to choose from sometime, because either we don't have the money for it or it's just difficult in general. And mainly the money. I thought there was other reasons, but really it's just the money. It's really hard to hire someone. We hired this other guy originally that did the iArtifact tour, but since he couldn't did it, he offered this other guy. So we're like, okay, whatever. We'll go practice with him to make sure, because I never met this drummer before. And we figured we'd give it a shot. We'll just go out there and try it out. So we did that. We went out there and we tried it out. We got in there. We fire up the songs and we start playing with them. And oh man, it was trash. It was so bad. It did not go well at all. We actually had to decide to not continue the tour with that drummer. And we still did the rest of it. Luckily, this was just like a 7-show tour, like within Texas. And I think we did Oklahoma, if I remember correctly. But it was really embarrassing because we're a touring band and we use backing tracks. We use drum backing tracks. And it went pretty good. A lot of people loved it. A lot of people looked at us weird, but it is what it is. Back to the story. The solution came in the form of Frank Zumo, who is the drummer for Sum 41. With some quick messaging and coordination through Sum 41's production manager, Isla, Zumo enthusiastically agreed to step in. What made the situation remarkable was the time crunch. Zumo had just 5 hours to learn the set using nothing but studio and live tracks. He practiced alone in his hotel room, resorting to lap drumming and charting out the music on his laptop. Without the luxury of a rehearsal, he met the band directly at the venue for the performance. And what they mean by charting is a lot of times they'll get notes together and just kind of like track where the verse, the chorus is, and that kind of thing, or those random breakdowns that happen on so many Electric Callboy songs. So we do that sometimes when we're rushed learning. I know for me as a guitarist, when I'm doing cover band stuff, I have to do a 4-hour set. So many of the times I'll have notes written down to even help me with that, especially in the beginning. Not so much anymore, but if we have to add like 10 new songs and have to rush learn it, I'm always learning like the core points of the song. And that's the same thing with drums. You want to learn the bare bones first so you can have it down and you're able to start jamming right away. Because sometimes for me, if I do a lot of cover songs, I have a lot of like leads and solos. That gets pretty intense. And a lot of times I'm improvising the solos until later on. Later on, I'll get it down and stuff. Despite the high stakes, though, Zumo did deliver, and the crowd at Melbourne was satisfied and was happy with the performance. And this brings me to the point I wanted to bring up about this story was just have fun. Make it your own. It'll still sound good when you're there in the live experience. You can pull this off. Of course, you know, the pros have a lot of experience doing this, and this is why they're pros. This is why they're at that such a high level, because they can execute this flawlessly. Tank goes on to say in his video, like, how like the next set, he was just even better. And that's exactly what you want from a professional drummer. Anyways, I thought the story was fascinating. Would love to hear what you think down below. Like, comment, subscribe, share this video if you like this kind of content where we talk about music, production, and more. See you in the next one.